Good morning, guys. Today I'm getting ready to go to an estate sale. This was kind of a last minute decision. Like, I wasn't planning on going to any anytime soon, but there's this one that popped up that's like fairly close to me, so I figured I would check it out. And I feel like it's not as like big and hyped as the last one I went to, but there were a few things that did interest me. Obviously, my main thing is like thrifting vintage clothing, so they did say they had a little bit of that. Based on the picture, it didn't look that interesting, but I figured it would be worth it to just check out. But they did have some really cool like home decor furniture type pieces, specifically this one lamp, which I think is so cool. It's like this gold tall lamp with leaves, and I showed it to my boyfriend and he really liked it too. So that is kind of the thing I have my main eye on. I have no idea how much it's gonna be. Our budget's like $100, so hopefully it's not more than that. I don't know. I could see it going like both ways. There's also a lot of really cool rugs at this estate sale, so we kind of want to pick up like a little mini one for the front of our house, like for the front door. And they're also selling this like KitchenAid mixer stand. Kind of random, but like it'd be kind of nice to have one of those. I don't want to pay too much for it. Budget for that is like $50, so we'll see. Worst case, we don't find anything and we just get to like wander around a stranger's house and have fun. So, and fall has come early because it's a high of 16 degrees Celsius today. So this is my outfit of the day. It's basically one of the outfits I created in my last video. Let's head out now. I want to be there early. I don't know if there's going to be a lineup, but I want to get there early. Okay, I lied. It's actually the most gorgeous like fall weather day. And I think I made it. I see a little bit of a lineup there, so let's get in. This is what the house looked like. I ended up arriving about half an hour, 20-ish minutes before it started, and the line honestly wasn't too bad. I counted about 35 people ahead of me. They started letting people in around 9, and they only let in a certain amount of people at a time, which is really nice. They eventually let me in, and the first thing I spotted was the lamp I was looking for, but it was $350, a little bit out of the budget, but it's from the 1920s, so totally makes sense. If you love trinkets, you definitely need to check out estate sales because they always have so many and they're so cool. This painting was huge. This video really doesn't do it justice. And then I spotted one of the rugs I was eyeing on the website. I really loved how small it was. That was the living room, so then I headed into the dining area where there were tons of glassware and dishware. I loved all these colorful ones in the corner, but these little fruit bowls were really catching my eye the most. They were just so pretty. Next, I headed to the kitchen where I immediately spotted these stovetop espresso makers that have been on my thrift list for so long. And how adorable is this single serve one? So I snatched that up. Also spotted the KitchenAid stand mixer, but $175 was a little pricey for me. Next, I headed to the basement where there were more kitchenware, tons of books, and vintage furniture. I like this green mini storage container. It would be perfect to organize my sewing supplies. This typewriter was super cool. Same with this vintage sewing machine. I love these old Kodak containers, and someone please tell me what this contraption is for. I'm always so tempted by the Christmas decor, but it always just feels like a little too soon. Then I took a look at the books, even though I'm not much of a reader, and I found this super cool Guinness Book of World Records book. I was obsessed with reading these at the library as a kid, and there was no date on the cover, but this one was actually from 1975. And I wonder how many of the records have been broken since then. Like, how many in this book are still valid? Also had to test out the furniture. It'd be so cool to own one of these couches, but I already have a couch. Then I headed back upstairs to the second floor. I entered the first bedroom and surprise, more rugs, but it's okay because I already snagged this one. This room was actually pretty empty compared to the others, but it had this really cool lino cut print. I'm still trying to make out what exactly is in this picture, but it did remind me of my printmaking class in high school. Had to take a little peek outside and there was still a line. Then I entered the next room, which was filled with a lot more treasures, like these tiny little books and this giant clothespin. Quite the contrast there. Then I spotted this precious sewing box. I actually already have something super similar, and I was so surprised to see that it was actually filled with sewing supplies, which were totally well worth over the $25 they were asking. This was tempting, but I didn't need it, so I passed. Someone actually ended up scooping it up like not long after though. Lots of good stationery. They had some really cheap picture frames, but I wasn't in the mood to start measuring things. So I moved on to the clothing. This was all the men's clothing they had, so a small collection, lots of leather and suede kind of jackets. Here's the price list, pretty much average thrift store prices in my opinion. They also had some vintage shoes like these Keds. And then I moved on to the women's side. This jacket was really unique. Honestly, just a lot of grandma clothing. This black t-shirt was nice quality, but I don't think I would have liked the fit. Lots of good polo button-ups and a Patagonia jacket, which I was surprised to see. But other than that, nothing really intriguing. Moving on to the next room, we got some more furniture and trinkets. And then I entered the back room, which is like a little office. Some vintage thumbtacks with a pretty nice view for the office. Back into the hallway, I bet this linen closet was full of amazing fabrics that I could upcycle, but I didn't have it in me to start looking through all of them, and I just don't have space for any more fabric, so had to leave that. And finally, on to the last room, which might have had some of the best gems, like this vintage mirror, for example, and these amazing mid-century modern furniture pieces. This beautiful dresser was already sold, not surprised, but the little side table was still available. We got a funny little pillow. It's amazing how much you can learn about people's professions just by walking around their house. And this bed was just super cool. And that was everything, so I cashed out and headed on home. So I'm back from the estate sale, ready to give you guys a haul, but that was actually unexpectedly way more fun and like successful than I was expecting it to be. I actually came out with things that I was anticipating on buying and also things I wasn't expecting to buy, but have been on my like thrift list for a while. So that was really awesome. I think this is my third estate sale I've been to. The second one I've vlogged. I feel like the first one, the house was a little bit cooler in terms of like the house, and it was a little bit bigger and everything, but I don't know, this one was super cool as well. And all of the estate sales I go to are run by the same company. I don't know, the people working for it, I have like such an appreciation for them because they're really good at what they do, and like everything is priced super fairly. Like you can tell they do their research and like actually know what everything's worth, but at the same time I still think it's like really good deals. When I say stuff is like was too expensive, I just mean personally for my budget, but I think in terms of like value of the item, it was all priced correctly. And they're super nice. Almost every time I've bought something, they've kind of like thrown things in for free or just like automatically given me like a bundle discount, which I really appreciate. And I love that they do not put up with people's BS. Like, this is not the first time I've overheard conversations of people like trying to ask for discounts and stuff. Like, if you want a discount, I feel like you just have to go on day 2. That's when they like discount all the items, but they know what the items are worth. They're super reasonable, but if you're trying to lowball them, they're not gonna have it. So, but anyways, let's get into the haul. I think this is officially my first ever exclusively home decor thrift haul. So I did not end up getting any clothes. Like you guys saw, the selection was incredibly limited and just there's nothing I was really interested in, but I did pick up some good home decor items. So let's just start off with the first one, which is this rug. I'm super happy that I ended up getting this one. This is actually the only item that I saw in the listing and like wanted to get based on the photos, just because they had so many rugs at this estate sale. You know, I feel like I was bound to pick up one of them. But the reason I love this one so much is because it's just so tiny and just fits perfectly at our front door as like our entryway doormat. But I just really like the really vintagey, like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what you would call this print. I like the colors, the reds, and then the little fringes on the ends. Like, I don't know, it's just really cool. It's not in the best condition, like it is a little bit dirty, but considering we're just literally using this as a doormat for our shoes, like I honestly didn't care. And this was the priciest item I picked up and a little bit more expensive than I was expecting, to be honest. I ended up paying $50 for this, but like I said before, all their pricing is really fair. I trust them on it. It just felt, because the rug was so small, it just felt a little bit expensive. But because my boyfriend did agree on getting this item before I got it, we are splitting it. So, you know, girl math, that means I only paid $25. I think that's really not that bad. Plus, it was something we honestly really needed, and I much rather pay for a nice vintage secondhand one rather than just get like a random one at Dollarama or like Walmart or something. So I'm really glad I got that because I was like one of the first groups of people let into there, and like I don't know, I feel like that one would have got snatched up pretty quickly if I didn't grab it, just because it was probably one of the cheaper options for rugs, and it was the only small one that I found, so super cool find. Then the next item I found, I was completely not planning on buying, but when I saw it, I just thought it was so precious not to get, and it was this bowl set. It's just these really cute little white ceramic bowls, and inside they just have this beautiful hand painted fruit, and I know it's hand painted because each of them are just like slightly different, which is just so beautiful. Like somebody literally painted this. Each bowl has a little peach, a pear, and some grapes, I think. So I just thought they were beautiful, and we were definitely lacking on bowls, so this was kind of an essential for us to pick up. And I honestly really like the size. Like when I got it home, I was kind of like, wait, these might be like too small for kind of like everyday use, but we just had mac and cheese today for lunch and it fit perfectly in here, so I think this is actually like the perfect little portion size bowl, and they're just so adorable. So I think it came with a set of 6 at least for 10 bucks. Honestly, such a steal. Kind of an impulse buy, but I'm glad that I did get them. And once again, boyfriend approved, so only cost me 5 bucks, I guess. And then the last item I picked up has actually been on my wish list for like quite a few months now, and it is this tiny little espresso stovetop maker. So I actually initially bought one of these for my sister for my birthday as per her request, and we ended up testing it out, and I could not believe how different and how good this made the coffee taste. Using like the same coffee grounds that I use every single day, it just tasted so much better coming from one of these. So ever since then, I've been on the lookout. I have seen a few at the thrift store, but sometimes they tend to be kind of dirty, and like I actually did end up buying one, and when I put it on the stove, it literally smelled like burning plastic and I had to throw it out. So luckily this one has been much more successful. I love it because it's the perfect like single size portion for one espresso shot, since I am like the only one in this household that drinks coffee. So it's perfect for me. You can also tell like this wasn't used that often. Usually they have a lot of staining on the inside just because, you know, coffee can be a little messy, but this one was really easy to clean and it really wasn't that bad. And yeah, it's just in really good condition. So super glad I got this one. It only ended up being like 5 bucks, which like most of the ones at the thrift stores I've seen have been more than that. I am kind of debating like, should I have gotten the bigger size? Because they did have like 3 of these there. Just because I normally make like a long espresso. You fill up the bottom here and like that's how much liquid you're gonna get out of it. So it's like a tiny little baby shot. So I'm like, I kind of wish I got the bigger one, but honestly this one's perfect. Probably gonna like save it for my weekend morning since it does take a little bit more time, but really glad I finally found this and I can cross it off my list. That is it. That is everything that I picked up at this estate sale. It's not a ton, but like honestly more than I was expecting. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope it's like a fun little different kind of video compared to my classic thrifting at thrift stores. It's honestly like a really nice change of pace for me personally. So let me know below in the comments if you enjoyed this video, and if you like regularly go to estate sales, what's the best thing that you guys have found? I want to know. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.